from each happily ever after, every wish upon a star. Let's break down the movies that shaped who we are, from memory lane to now and everything in between. The most famous of films to the ones we've never seen. Decade by decade, all the times we laughed and cried, and with a little pixie dust, they will all take flight, reliving the feelings, and we're trying our very best. And if they mean the same to you, please be our guest. So hop aboard, we would love to have you as we hang with a certain mouth, the whole gang too. If you love nostalgia stuff, we hope this does the trick. Thanks for joining us as we deep dive the magic.
Hi, and welcome back to the Deep Diving Magic Podcast. I'm KJ.
And I am Jeffrey, and we have made it to film number 160. Film number 160 is the final film of the year 1984. I can't believe that we finally made it through 1984. From October the 7th of 1984, it is a film called Love Leads the Way. Love Leads the Way is Disney feature-length film number 160. Like I said, it is another Disney Channel film. And it is based on the book First Lady of the Seeing Eye by Morris Frank and Blake Clark. Would you like to start us off with any thoughts, or have you heard about this film before we watched it?
I had never heard of this film.
Okay.
I didn't look at anything going into it, so I had no idea what to expect. But it said it was based off of a true story, and it was definitely not what I expected.
Me neither. But yeah, it took place in Nashville in the year 1927 is when it started.
Mhm.
And I think, it wasn't what we expected, but doesn't mean it's a bad thing. But
Yeah.
so we're diving right into doing a quick. Oh, want to start off with a synopsis about this film.
Yes.
I got so excited. I got ahead of myself. Sorry.
A recently blinded man becomes one of the first American users of a seeing eye dog and must fight to remove the legal barriers impeding its use.
Yeah. Thoughts on that synopsis? Did that give it away?
I mean, that pretty much sums up the movie for you.
Yeah.
I feel like it is a modern day Old Yeller.
I disagree. But would you like
I don't.
to talk about it then? Go ahead.
Well, a more up to date Old Yeller, not really modern day.
I mean, it had a lot of to do with that indie movie, stuff like
Um,
that too.
yeah. So we see this young guy that's, I guess, in his, I don't know, is he in his 30s, 20s,
Yeah,
30s?
he's young, he's hip, he is living the life. He's got a girlfriend, he's got some friends, he's
He's got a
sharply dressed.
fiance because we find out they're going to get married.
Yep, he is living the life. He is
And he is
wearing a shaker.
about to go out for his run, and
Go to the gym. Just going to the gym.
he was going for his run, he said. He runs to the gym.
Yeah.
But he was wearing a sweatshirt and sweatpants,
Mhm.
and it looked like it was nice and warm outside on his run to the gym.
Mhm.
And then when he gets to the gym, everybody else is dressed very similar to him. And I thought, wow, the days of when that's what you wore to the gym.
I mean, it was a boxing gym, so
But I feel like that would be very hot.
yeah, it
Anyway,
is.
um, yeah, and then he ends up boxing. I'll let you go.
Sparring with somebody. So he
Yeah.
boxes with this dude, and the dude punches him, and next thing we know, he ends up in the hospital, and he has gone officially blind, and
Yeah,
it is
he got knocked out.
unoperable.
Yeah.
Um, they can't fix his blindness, and that is not something he had scheduled into his life to be able to go blind because he is an independent guy.
Yeah.
So we go back to his parents and him and his fiance, and they are trying to navigate life blind. And
Mhm.
he is not for it because he's an independent guy. Like I said, he is.
He's still holding on to his independence, but he's being very bitter about the things he can't do.
Yeah, he's still trying to walk.
He's very
He's still trying to
discouraged.
go down the street and navigate to where he is. He is getting lost. He is falling.
He's still trying to sell insurance policies, but nobody wants to deal with anybody that's blind.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, he hires some kid to help him, and it's not helping.
they refuse to let them in. It's just very discouraging because he's still trying to be independent and go out here and live his life and make the best of things.
Mhm.
And it's like the world keeps beating him down no matter what he does.
Yeah, it's not working the way he wants to work. So then he decides, he said he hires some kid, but that doesn't work out.
Mhm.
But he does get told that in the newspaper.
No, the kid, he it ended up not working out. The kid ended up getting another job and he was selling magazines and he stopped by and he told the guy that there's an article in the magazine he was selling.
From Switzerland.
And he's like, well, I can't really do much reading anymore, but if it'll help you, I'll buy one. He's like, no, that's not what I came here for. There's an article in here about that a lady wrote from Switzerland about people who are blind using dogs to see for them.
Mhm.
And he was like, what? And he kind of explained it to him. And then he's like, well, sit down and read it to me. So he sits there and reads it to him. And this inspires him that he is going to write a letter to this lady in Switzerland because this is how he's going to get his independence back.
Yeah, and she doesn't write back for a long time. And
About 2 months.
and the mail carrier keeps coming back and saying, no good news, no good news, no good news.
Yeah.
And he's just still trying to live his life. He's bitter. He's losing his relationship with his fiance because he's not ready to move forward because he's not independent and she's not having it. So then he finally gets a letter that he has to go to Switzerland. They can't guarantee anything, but they would love to go there. So he drops everything and gets to Switzerland. They don't really show him getting there, but he gets to Switzerland and we meet this lady and this guy who are training this dog to be the first seeing eye dog, literally the first. And
German Shepherd.
want to talk about that?
Yeah. So they used the German Shepherd. They named her Buddy because in their mind they had envisioned it that this dog would be like one of your really good friends because the dog's goal is to keep you alive and itself alive, basically, so it's going to keep you both out of danger.
Mhm.
And it kind of went through like the training, and they had something called intelligent disobedience, where like if the dog saw that you were going to walk into a tree branch, it would stop and not let you go, even though you're still trying to go forward and telling the dog to go forward, the dog's still going to try to stop you. And then later, when he meets the dog, we actually see this happen. And the two people that had trained the dog didn't tell him anything about this because he kept saying no forward. And over and over and over again, the dog's still not wanting him to go forward. And then he says forward again, and then just kind of forces the dog to go and walks smack into the tree branch and then knocks him down. And then they're like, so we didn't tell you about this, but there's a thing called intelligent disobedience where if the dog senses that you're going to be in danger, it is going to avoid your command and it will find an alternate route for you because that's the goal, to keep you safe and not hurt. And you've got to trust the dog because at that point he was still like getting used to it and trying to learn how things are going with the dog. And then eventually he does start to trust the dog more and they start to do really well.
They go to like a yeah, they go to like a testing phase and
Yeah, so they
they
took him to the
pass.
town, and it's obviously a town in Switzerland, so he didn't grow up there. So it's not like back home where he would have probably kind of
Mhm.
remembered the layout of things. Um, they took him to the town, told him the directions he needed to go, and let him go with the dog to see if he could do it on his own. And he did great. And he asked, so how did I do? And they're like, you both did wonderful. And he's like, so when do I graduate? And they were like, what about tonight?
Mhm.
So they just did one big test run. He passed. They're like, okay, you're good to go. I was like,
But
what?
before this, they send them back. They're like, our goal is to get to America to
Yeah.
train dogs.
So
So
they
they
had
need
like a
him.
celebration at home, and that's when they told him, they're like, so we picked you because we have this goal. I want to return to America because I'm originally from America, but she moved there because her husband was English.
Nah, I don't know the answer
I
to that.
think so she said. And then when he passed away, she decided she would return to America, but she wanted to do it for a purpose.
Mhm.
And that was going to be the purpose. So they wanted to start this program, get the word out to help other people that are blind with their dogs.
So we cut to America.
And he agrees to do that.
He starts the long journey home, and it takes longer than expected because he is not allowed on the train with a dog. He is not allowed
Which they
in a
kind of
car or a bus with a
they
dog.
kind of warned him of
Yeah.
that, and they're like, people are just not going to be accepting. So, and he's like, well, I didn't think about that. And they're like, yeah, so you need to keep that in mind.
Yeah, so yeah, he's not allowed in anything with a dog, and he is trying to be independent. He's trying to work, but places aren't hiring because of him, because of the dog. They're just not anything because of the dog. So then he is still trying to go out there, get a job, do all the stuff
Well,
he has
he
to
came
do.
home and we found out he had to ride in the train car. He didn't get to ride in
Basically, yeah, with like this, like the luggage and
luggage
stuff.
the luggage car with the dog.
Yeah,
And then he had to walk from the train station to home.
but he made it.
And they're like, well, we gave you money for a taxi. And he's like, yeah, but the taxi driver wouldn't take me because of the dog.
Mhm. So then we see him, the adventures of him trying to live normal life with the dog, and the dog's doing wonderful, but he can't do anything. He can't, like I said, go on a bus, go on any of that. So he's late to his sales, and he's losing his sales because he can't do anything like that. So then they fight their way into a building, and the dog saves him from going into an open elevator shaft, which kind of impresses people that the dog really did save this guy's life.
Yes, because once again, he was about to have a walk into a tree branch moment. He was just going to walk into an empty elevator shaft, but the dog keeps like trying to stop him and he
Mhm.
keeps pushing it. But luckily, a lady saw what was going on and grabbed him back at the time and was like, hey, like the elevator's open. And he's like, I know. So what's the problem? She's like, there's no elevator there. And
Yep.
he was like, oh, and she's like, this dog just saved your life. And then he like puts his arm in the elevator shaft to feel that there's nothing there. And I guess that moment was like, oh, I gotta trust the dog.
But then things start to like pick up where people start to like notice that the dog is
Doing good things.
kind of a hero.
Yeah.
So that kind of gets to like a government.
Because he got in a car accident.
Oh yeah, talk about that.
So his friend was driving, and I don't remember exactly how they got into the accident, but they ended up going off the road, and it knocked the dog and the driver out of the car. And then the guy is still in the car. The car is on fire,
Mhm.
and he wakes up and he's yelling for help. And then his friend that was driving was like, I can't get to you because it looked like his legs or something were pinned with whatever he had,
Mhm.
like a tree or something had landed on him. I don't know. And then he yelled for the dog, and then the dog ends up waking up after it's been launched out of a car and crawls in to get him and leads him out of the way and then keeps pulling him out of the way. And then at that point, the car blows up behind them and he holds onto the dog and he's like, we're okay. So the next scene, you see them back at home, and he was talking about how it's much better to be back here than in the hospital, right, buddy?
Mhm.
And at that point, he hadn't been letting the dog sleep in the bed. Like the dog tried to sleep in the bed when he was in Switzerland, and he was like, "No, you sleep down there." Because they told him anytime the dog does something good, you reward her by saying "good girl," and if she does something bad, you say "phooey." And um, she had jumped up in the bed, and he was like "phooey," and so she got back down. And then when he went to one of his job interviews, he was sitting there and he was explaining that he's like, well, no, I had this dog and I have my independence back. I can work. And then the guy's like, well, I don't think that's gonna work. Like we can't do that. And he's like, phooey. And he goes, what? And he goes, never mind. And he just gets up and walks out with the dog.
Yeah.
Um,
But he ends up on the dog in the bed.
Yeah, and then after the dog saved his life, she'd put herself in her bed, and then he was like, he sets back up and he's like, "Hey, buddy, you want to get in the bed? You can come in the bed anytime you want."
Hmm.
So at that point, he's like fully become accepted of this dog.
But also, so does the people around him, which
Yeah,
gets the news, which gets to well,
get the word out.
yes and no, not yet, because
Well, it got the word out around town, and then he went to the vet for
the
something.
dog gets sick.
Yeah, he took it to the vet, and then they just happened to be in the waiting room with the congressman. And the congressman asked him, he's like, "Hey, is that one of those seeing eye dogs I've been reading about?" And they both explained, the trainer and him explained, yes, it is. Um, and then he gets called back, so he takes Buddy into the exam room with the vet. She stays it out, the trainer does, to talk to the senator about like what they're trying to do and if they can get government backing for this because he was like, they explained to him like you don't understand actually the discrimination that we have with this dog. Like, yes, this dog can do all these things, but people are like, no, dog can't come in here. So he's like, yeah, it would be very beneficial if I could actually run my life normal, but I'm not allowed to do things because I have a dog with me. And he was like, well, we should work on that. And they come up with this plan that they're going to try to get a bill passed to make it mandatory where people with seeing eye dogs can live like you and I.
But we also found out at the vet that the dog only has 1 year left to live,
But
which
he doesn't.
but that the vet does not tell the guy that
Yeah.
because why would he ruin his hope? Because that's what he's got.
Yeah. He's like, that dog means everything to him.
So they go about their day, or they go about their days just trying to get this bill passed. Some people are against it. That one guy who was on their side is not running for re-election, but they pass everything. Like they're just fighting for it, fighting for it, fighting for it. And then they, I think I'm missing something, but whatever. It comes down to them being inside.
Kind of like party fundraiser, I guess, for the seeing eye dogs. At that point, because I think we did mention that we moved to New Jersey
Because it was too hot in North Carolina or in Tennessee,
in
wherever they.
Tennessee in the
Yeah.
summer, so it really like cut down how the training could go. So they moved up to New Jersey where it would be cooler for the dogs and they could do more training. And so they were working with a senator from New Jersey for this. And then the foundation itself was having like a fundraiser. Um, and he meets this girl that said she had always saw it on her way to school and passed it all the time, and she wanted to see what they did there. And she got really interested in it, but she was also really interested in our main character. So,
Well, his fiance had left him, so.
yeah, so he had basically given up on that and moved to New Jersey to help push this foundation and help other blind people get their independence back. And then she thought that this was a great cause or whatever, and they kind of hit it off. And she also helps them with the senator.
Yes, but the dog's getting sicker and sicker, and but it ends up coming down to like they have to prove to the government body in a courtroom where they set up like this like impossible maze to see if the dog can navigate through to win the votes, and it's a whole big thing where they're like, "That's impossible. A normal person couldn't make it
Yeah,
through this."
because the guy that basically was still going to be in the Senate was like, when people ask me, he's like, because he's like, all the businesses out here does not want this to pass. But if they ask me why I passed it, I want to be able to say I saw it with my own eyes.
But Buddy does a heck of a job.
Yeah,
Buddy passes it with flying colors. Um,
yes.
she navigates it perfectly
Well,
to the amazement of everybody.
she technically doesn't.
Well, at the end, she falls over.
No. So she refused to walk down the aisle where the guy
Yeah.
had set all these obstacles up. And this was going to be because he asked, because at this point she's really sick. And he said, "This is going to be our last walk. I just need you to help me do this so we can help other people." And there's so much stuff down this aisle. He says forward, and then they just stand there. And you think it's because she's sick, but she takes him to the right and then walks down a completely empty aisle and then goes to the front. And then he explains to them about the um
Obedience.
yeah, the
Disobedience.
intelligent disobedience.
Mhm.
Very cute.
So they clearly win their case, but as they're walking out, the dog does collapse, which
But I also found it weird because when they were walking back out, she took him down that way.
she's the pro. And then she collapses at the end, and then it cuts to the end where it talks about even though she did pass away, she was the hero and got everything passed, which brought us to all the wonderful past laws that we have today, helping out blind people.
Yeah.
Um, and she was the hero. She was the first lady of the seeing eye.
hmm
And this movie was way better than it had any right to be.
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect it to be as good as it was. Um, Definitely was not what I expected
Hmm.
going into it. I definitely didn't expect the ending to be as good and tear-jerking as it was.
I recommend everybody to watch it.
Make sure you have a box of tissues there.
Like most of these
Did
Disney,
you cry?
no, like most of these Disney Channel
Your heart was.
films, they're on YouTube, so watch them on YouTube. But it
Yeah,
was very good. It was way better than it had any right to be. I would watch it again,
totally.
and I like sad movies, so
I don't like sad movies. Um, it was definitely way better than I had anticipated.
mhm.
Um, IMDb only gave it a 7.6 out of 10,
That's strong for them, though.
I guess. I gave it a 9 out of 10.
I figured you would.
Um, it hits all the notes.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Amy, the movie we watched way back,
That one was really good
but
too.
I think it was stronger than that for sure. And Amy made my list. Not saying this one will though, because my list now is pretty darn strong. But
Oh,
um, so then let's talk about lists then.
yeah. So I did rate this a 9.
Remember, you're going from 10 up.
Yeah, I did rate this a 9, and it's an excellent movie, but it's not gonna make my list.
The Strongest Man in the World is still holding on. This is a better movie than Strongest Man in the World.
It is, but The Strongest Man in the World did make me cry. And unlike you, I don't like sad movies. Um, so basically, if you kill the dog in the movie,
But they didn't kill the dog.
I don't care.
The dog died
The
a
dog
hero.
died. I know, but the dog died.
People die a lot in these Disney films.
The dog died. And I went to the movie and watched a movie in the theaters and got teared up too. So that I cried for 2 movies yesterday.
But that's
And
not
I don't usually cry.
okay. Well,
Anyway, so
so
it does not make my list.
then what is your list from 10 to 1?
So starting at number 10, The Strongest Man in the World is still holding on to annoy the crap out of Jeffrey.
That's on you.
Number 9, we have the Apple Dumpling Gang, followed by the Apple Dumpling Gang Rides Again, Dumbo, Sleeping Beauty, The Parent Trap, The Fox and the Hound, Tex, 101 Dalmatians, and number 1, The Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Tex makes you cry. Winnie the Pooh makes you cry.
Tex did not make me cry as much as this did because this took me back to my dog dying.
Whatever. It was a great movie. Dog was the hero. I recommend watching it again. We are in the midst of these Disney Channel feature films, and I was not stoked on them, but they've been good. And what we have about the next couple films have been good.
Mhm.
They're all on YouTube, so they're not on Disney Plus for whatever reason, but they're on YouTube. So
Yeah, I
watch
find
them
it
for
weird
free.
because they have, like you said, they've been unusually good. So it's weird that they wouldn't
Yeah,
have them
I
on
mean,
Disney Plus.
we'll get there in a couple films, but like the later version of the Disney Channel films are on Disney Plus, whatever. These ones are on YouTube. They're easy to find. They're not illegal to watch, so watch them. But so my list upon a star is staying the same at number 10, Peach Dragon, number 9, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, number 8, Alice in Wonderland, number 7, The Fox and the Hound, number 6, Robin Hood, number 5, Peter Pan, number 4, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, number 3, Mary Poppins, number 2, The Rescuers, and number 1, The 101 Dalmatians, which we'll put somewhere around here. But look, this movie was good. This movie was emotional. This movie was poignant. It proved a point. It was based on a true story. So I recommend everybody watching it. So thank you for watching it. Please let us know what you think about it. Um, our next film, we are floating over into the year 1985. Yes, that's right. We made it to 1985 for film number 161 on our rewatch, and it is another Disney Channel film. It's called Lots of Luck. We'll talk about that more then. But before that, I
With
recommend
Annette Funicelli.
we'll get there. Don't blow it yet. But
But like, when was the last film she was in?
20 years ago.
Okay.
I wrote it down. We'll talk about it then. But before we get there, I recommend watching this film. It is on YouTube, just like we
Yeah.
are.
And I recommend having a box of tissue.
But speaking of YouTube and things like that, we are on Instagram if you want to come hang out. That is Deep Dive in the Magic. We are also on Spotify and YouTube where you can watch along and see all this happen. Deep Dive in the Magic. And then, of course, if you want to write in about this or anything else that you've done or liked or that things that hit home, deep dive in the magic pod at gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Again, we've made it through the year 1984. We're about to start the year 1985. So thank you for hanging out with us all the way from the 30s all the way to now. But we will see you next time for film number 161.
Thanks for Deep Diving the Magic.
Bye.
Bye.